How's it going, everybody? Tony here from Kapowcast and bringing you another episode of Shut Up and Take My Money. Joining me again today is Mike from his Grand Palace of Plastic.
My Palace of Wonders. One day my grandchildren are going to unearth my body from a pile of plastic and cardboard boxes.
They're gonna articulate you into a pose when you pass.
A tomb of my own lack of will.
Grandpa has more toys than we do.
I'm fairly certain I have more toys now than I did when I was a child. Did we talk about this before?
100%. Yeah, I think we said it last week. Or I said it last week. I definitely
have more action figures. You know what's funny is when I was younger, I had this big dresser. It was like a big family. It was like passed down from kid to kid. It's seen better days. For whatever reason, when I was like 9, 10, I thought it was a great idea to just like not put clothes in it and just fill every drawer with action figures. And every drawer had its like specific. There was like an X-Men drawer. There was a Power Rangers drawer. There was a Gargoyles drawer. I don't know. Batman drawer.
Wow.
It was weird.
I never had a full dresser worth, but I did have them in random areas where like my toy box would be full, and then I had the little carry around for the Batman the Animated Series figures, so they had their own spot, but definitely no dresser full of figures.
It sounds way more impressive than it actually was, I assure you.
I probably have a dresser full now somewhere because I filled up my room.
I just moved in November, but I have so much shit.
Before we dive into this news of the plastic that just got announced, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the bell for notifications, so that you're notified every time we drop new content over here on our YouTube channel. If you're listening via podcast app, make sure you hit follow, like, subscribe, whatever that certain platform that you listen to has, so that you never miss an episode of us. Jumping right in, we had the Mezco Fantastic Four 5-pack, technically, because it comes with what's-his-face, the little robot friend of theirs. So real quick before we start discussing this, pre-order or pass?
Yeah, pass.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pass for me. I'm not huge on Mezcos. I only actually have one set now, which is the Ghostbusters, and that's only because there's something inside me that I desperately want a good-looking set of Ghostbusters and not some half-ass sculpt that doesn't look remotely like the actors. They don't exist. They don't. They know everything is off by just a smidgen. And Ghostbusters is probably my worst collection to like. I'm too nitpicky with it. But Mezco does like the posability and everything. Not having to see the joints is a pretty awesome aspect. It's
like a marriage between Hot Toys and Marvel Legends.
Yeah, with a price point that meets right about in the middle.
I'm looking at them now. Like I'm looking at all the pictures. Like they look. I like the flame effects for Johnny. The thing looks pretty good. The stretchy parts for Reed are good. Like they look cool, but I didn't realize that thing came with his disguise. That's funny. And you know they're gonna do like, I could see them doing like con exclusives of these, like different variants. Like they could have like it'd be really cool if they did like a clear Sue Storm.
Yep.
That would be super awesome. And yeah, I mean they're cool. They're just not quite for me. And at $420, that's for 4 figures. I mean,
yeah, the price point.
It's a lot.
The price point on them is the scary thing, right? Is like we're paying now like $22 to $25 for Marvel Legends, which is roughly about the same scale as the Mezco stuff, and then you look at a Mezco figure, you're paying anywhere from like $65 to upwards of like $100 for the same scale, and that's kind of where it scares me. Like
it does have a lot of accessories.
The accessories is where it wins. I will say that the Proton packs, the trap that I have with the Ghostbusters series, are phenomenal. They look great.
Like everybody comes with like 3 to 4 different head sculpts, which is really cool.
I think each Ghostbuster has at least 2 head sculpts. One's like a solid pose, and then the other one's like a...
collecting so many other different lines right now, and if Hasbro wasn't breaking my fucking wallet, like raking it over the coals,
right?
Maybe, but also at the same time, I'm not a big enough Fantastic Four fan. Like, I got the Marvel Legends Walgreens ones back there somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Somewhere back
somewhere
there.
Around here.
And those might even end up being replaced by, because they're doing the blue and white Fantastic Four for on the vintage card they're going to be doing. They've already teased Johnny, and like a part of me was like, I'm not going to get those. I'm fine with those. And I saw the tease for the Johnny, and I was like, oh man, like I really like that shade of blue. And like that's the stupidest thing about being a collector is like you tell yourself like no, and then they show it, and you're like, oh no, I do kind of like it.
Yeah. I actually enjoy those newer ones they just put out not too long ago.
Well, the all black and with the blue highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like, I guess it depends what kind of display you're doing. If you're doing like a more modern type of a setup, it would be good. If you're doing a more classic, I'd go with the Walgreens or whatever the vintage ones are coming out with. The only classic character in my collection I'd want to replace is like, I would like a more modern looking Iron Man, but that's I have the 80th one sitting back there.
Oh, see, I think that one's superior in all the
it's really older. Cool, and I know people are going gaga for like the modular Iron Man.
Yeah,
I have no real attachment to it because I really didn't pay attention to Iron Man in the 90s.
Moving on, we had some teases from NECA. Nothing like actual pre-order wise, but they did tease a picture of the Wolfman, which was just a singular picture. And I did try to kind of get an answer because, like, I pre-ordered the black and white Frankie, but I haven't really searched out the color Frankie. So I tried to tweet at them when Randy showed up on Twitter the other day. With no luck, but
it's hit or miss.
Other people have been asking me my same question if there's going to be a black and white to go with the color one that was teased, and they said not all of them will have the black and white variant, but some of them will, and it's just like, damn it, did I back the wrong horse? Like, because Wolfman was black and white. There was some of these monsters that like never had a black and white; they were just color. But the most important ones, the ones I want to add, were black and white, and I'm hoping that they do release Wolfman as black and white. What did you think about what we've seen? I have a little bit of gripes, not a lot, not a big deal.
It has me intrigued. I haven't pulled the trigger on any of them yet. Once again, it comes down to that I'm already collecting so much. And they've already kind of roped me in with the gargoyles, even though we really haven't seen much else from that. It might end up being one of those things that if I see it in store, pop open that ultimate box, look at it, be like, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna get it.
The head sculpt on Frankie looks fantastic.
I watched a review for the colored one, and it looks really cool. It's not like super posable, but it's Frankenstein. Like. Yeah. What more do you need him to do?
Right, exactly.
I like that he comes with like the flowers. Like that's really cool. And honestly, like what's kind of cool about the colored version that I didn't really think about is you kind of get like all the grotesqueness. You kind of get that effect of like all the scarring and the incisions and this and that. Like it kind of makes it a little more detailed.
Yeah.
But
you get the better look at the decay.
I think it is a mistake for them not to just be like, no, they're all going to be done in just do like if you do them all, if you do half in black and white, half in color, like you're still going to sell them. Yeah. Like there's and I know somebody had asked Randy, they were like, are we going to get a creature? And his only reply was, what does your heart tell you?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just like, okay, that's cool.
I'm honestly surprised that it wasn't like a for sure grab with you, because not only do you enjoy them, but Stephanie also enjoys them.
Yes, and I tried to. Well, I didn't try. Like, I mentioned them to her, and she was like, "How big is he?" And I was like, "Well, he's only about that big." She's like, "Oh," like she wanted it to be bigger.
Don't they all?
I don't know if she was hoping it would be like a Hot Toys type figure, or like the Ninja Turtle, like NECA, like giant, like that, I'm like,
Janelle's the same exact way. Like, if it's 6-7 inch scale, she just doesn't give a crap. But like Hot Toys, like she's pretty gaga about.
There's so many jokes here.
I know. I'm not gonna even touch it. NECA also teased a possible Gremlins accessory kit for Gremlins, the new batch, because this year's the anniversary for it, which was just a small little tease. And obviously, like with this, if there's an accessory pack, I'm gonna get it, because Gremlins is kind of like the first line that like I went bonkers over when getting back into collecting.
Yeah, you fell pretty hard into it. Like,
I did. I fell very much in love with the Gremlins line. So, definite pickup. But I was upset that like new batch is getting an accessory pack, but we never got an accessory pack yet for the first movie, Gremlins, the original. Got a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of like weird kind of exclusives last summer with like the promotional newspaper stuff, but no actual accessory pack. There was the Loot Crate thing, but it didn't get past its milestone, so it never got greenlit, which was pretty fucking. That's a bummer. This is another line I'm surprised that you and Stephanie aren't like
honestly like
in together,
because they're really cool looking figures. But when I did the reviews for the ones you got. Mm-hmm. They frustrated me so much. Those first ones, especially the Gizmo. The Gizmo really frustrated me.
The Gizmo's not. And the scale of the Gizmo with the Gremlins is not great. There's actually the Santa Claus stripe that they did comes with a Gizmo that fits in his bag. That Gizmo is to scale with the Gremlins, but the ultimate Gizmo is not.
It's Gremlins is a weird thing to do. Like, I'm surprised they haven't done like something like they did with Back to the Future, and do like ultimate figures like of Billy Peltzer and all the fun loving characters.
Me too.
I don't know if there's something with. I mean, there's always a thing with character likeness and all that. But
well, not only that, but you've started this line of Gremlins they are 6 to 7 inches, so. Having an ultimate figure of Billy,
giant Gremlins,
then all of a sudden Billy and Stripe can have like an actual eye-to-eye stare down while standing up. So that like I don't know if that kills it for a lot of people, but for me it's kind of like
What's funny is you give me a hard time a lot of times about army building.
Yeah,
Gremlins are the ultimate army builder.
Well, back when I got into it, there was only the Gamer Gremlin and the Ultimate Gremlin. When they first started to get back up into it. I don't know how many Ultimate Gremlins and Gamer Gremlins I actually picked up. At least maybe 4 of each. And then they started doing more variants. You know, you got the Flasher Gremlin this past year. You got the Caroling Gremlins from Target and then from the fan exclusives. So I'm looking at them right now. Like it's like 2 DTOFs deep, like two shelves.
What they need to do is, well, I don't know. I feel like Gremlins is one of those lines for them. Like, it's not super popular.
Yeah.
But there's just enough people buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough. But it would be cool if they could do like a full like diorama with like the movie theater seats. I know they had something like that set up at like SDC at one point.
Yeah, TJ Gremlin guy on Twitter is actually the guy that did it. and he's done a couple other dioramas. I think he made the bar as well.
Oh, that would be cool too.
That was awesome. But yeah, like having some sort of like I feel like the accessory sets are the way to go with these Gremlins now, because like I would say anybody that's collecting them probably has enough to where they're like, I can't fit any more Gremlins. I would just like to get some more accessories so that I can switch it out with the other Gremlins. Yeah, because I've went to Target a couple times and found the Flasher Gremlin, and I've thought about picking him up for the accessories alone, because he comes with like a fedora hat and some other accessories that go with that bar scene. You can
mix and match, and the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, and I've actually had to hold myself back. Like, I'm just like, no, you can't fit any more Gremlins in that DTOF. It's gonna blow out.
You gotta have him. You can have him hanging from like the.
I want to do so much stuff. It's ridiculous. Like, if you are a video editor, come talk to me, and we can work something out. You can edit this footage, and I can play with my toys. But moving on, we get into the realm of Hasbro. Starting with Black Series, we got some. We were talking about this last week. We got Han, Guido, and Luke for the Black Series.
Yeah,
I think the only one that I would actually pre-order out of this would probably be Guido. Maybe a Han and Guido if I ever was able to make a.
Guido.
Yeah, sorry. Was ever to make a diorama of the iconic Who Shot First scene.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, I've gone back and forth in the Black Series on whether or not, and no matter what, I just always come back to, like, I can't do it. Like, I want to get them, but I don't have the room. I don't have the finances. I don't have the patience or the temperament to try collecting another line that does Target, Walmart exclusives, and because they also did. I can't. I'd consider myself more of a casual Star Wars fan at this point. But they have more figures of like different clone troopers. They also announced that are going to be like different exclusives. And then they also announced that they were doing, they're all fan channel exclusive, the Rogue One characters. They went back, they redid the face scans. They're all fan channel exclusives. And then they do these, which I mean, original trilogy, that would probably be my bread and butter, like what I would go to. But like, And can we talk about the soft goods robe on Luke? Like,
I was wondering if you're gonna bring it up or if I was gonna have to.
No, it looks terrible. It looks terrible. Like, I know people like soft goods. I don't.
I personally think that Hasbro needs to stay away from soft goods stuff on that scale, on those lines. They, even with like Marvel Legends and stuff, like it just does not look good on those figures.
The robe looks very ill-fitting. It doesn't look good. I would prefer just a sculpted one. I think that would look a million times better. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they almost got me because these are on those retro Power of the Force 2 card backs from the when they re-released the Star Wars figures in the 90s, and
which I feel is kind of insulting to the fan base. Like, hey, remember how you spent all your money thinking you were going to make a bunch? Well, look at this.
It does kind of give me that. They even have the same pictures like that were on the side of the cards. But it gives me that like warm fuzzy feeling. Because I remember when I was a kid, my mom, like, she worked at Kmart and she was able to grab like pretty much the entire first wave when it dropped, and she brought it home, and she got it for me. And I remember being so pumped because I had always heard about how my brother had like a bunch of Star Wars toys growing up, and we didn't have Star Wars toys growing up. And this is finally I have Star Wars toys, and it was so cool. So it's such a nostalgic thing, but I'm like, no. First of all, you're gonna open them. The card's gonna go in the garbage. And yeah, I $26.99. Are you kidding? I just noticed that. $26, sir.
1.21 gigawatts,
sir.
Yeah.
And can we also talk about the Han Solo figure? Why does he have like a giraffe neck? Like, look at it. His neck is incredibly long. I don't know if this is the case of me just like looking for problems so I can like I don't get that like FOMA.
I mean, you have a history of doing that. Let's see here.
No, it looks long. Like it can't be just me.
I do recall it being relatively long. That's what you said.
The Harrison Ford sculpts. I mean, it looks better. He's a hard person. A lot of the Star Wars actors are very hard to capture in like figure form. Like especially like Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Yeah, his neck is relatively long. It looks like it's not sitting fully down on the peg.
Yeah, like
that's
I want to
like.
My OCD, like I want to grab the figure and push it down.
Yeah.
Maybe like if you Dremel out the head a little bit.
Oh, that's a dangerous game.
It is. I've never done it, but because you know what it is, you can see the joint. You can see the hinge joint on the neck, and I don't like that.
But you're right. The head sculpt does look a lot better than the past ones. I think that, in my opinion, the Hoth Han was the one that looked the best from the Black Series. But I mean, yeah, as much as I would love to dive into Black Series, I would have to cap off one or two other lines that I'm collecting, I think, to make up for not only the amount of back purchasing I would have to do, right,
and just the amount of characters.
Man, I don't know. I guess it depends on your approach of the Star Wars, but like personally, just watching the line. They've done multiple re-releases, and then
there's
everything
so
from
Vaders.
The Black Series always hits with the retro card later. Like that's how I got Boba Fett and all that other stuff. I got it on the retro card. I was like, this is perfectly fine.
Yeah, they do re-release them a lot. Hasbro has been taking it to the scalpers, if you will. With numerous different kinds of re-releases and stuff, which we'll get to. But yeah, they've been
doing a much better job. They still got some PR moves to do on that on the Joe line, but I will say that like especially Star Wars, they release so much like replicated stuff off of Star Wars in that line that like it's almost impossible to sell this off the stuff unless you got something like Cara Dune, who like that whole ordeal happened, and now you have a Cara Dune figure, and you know that quite possibly maybe there's not going to be another appearance from said actress.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the classified stuff, like not to like go off topic too much, but like they did the drop this week of Barbecue and Breaker on their website, on Pulse and on Target, and they were available on Target for hours. Same thing.
I have a theory. I think the scalper community is getting burnt out.
Well, not only that, but the figures aren't due out until October, November.
Oh, so it's a far upfront.
So I'm wondering if it's like they're like made to order, or if they've upped the production, because eventually Breaker did sell out, Barbecue did sell out, but they've also been putting Blood back up, and he's been going up for hours. He'll be up.
Yeah. So did you end up getting Barbecue and Breaker?
I did.
Because I was about to say because they did the pre-order. Well, like, I feel like that can make or break something if you get it. Like if I can pre-order it, I'm gonna pre-order it, and I'm not gonna worry about trying to find it.
Not only was I able to pre-order on Pulse, I also pre-ordered them on Target. I'll probably end up canceling the Pulse ones just because Target will probably ship first.
Mm-hmm. That's possible.
I mean, if they make it this easy for all of them, and I think it's kind of funny because there are people that are still complaining about Hasbro and the G.I. Joe line and I think, and it's kind of the same thing with NECA with the TMT line, is people are so quick to complain and jump on their cases, but when they do something, when they actually make a viable effort to improve things, people still rag on them, or still, like, one guy complaining that, you know, this is supposed to be G.I. Joe June. Where's all the G.I. Joe stuff? It's like, it's the middle of June. We still got like 2 weeks left. Like, calm down.
Right.
And I mean,
the fan base of Joe's alone is enough for me to never want to touch a piece of plastic from the Joe line. Like, I don't want to associate. I don't want to associate with those people. Moving on here, we did have another Power Rangers drop this morning as of this recording, which is Friday.
I don't like it.
And they apparently got Mike's number and was like, watch this, and dropped the Army 2-pack of what were they, the Cogs from the
Cogs,
Zeo? Yeah. So Mike's about to go spend a couple.
I haven't pre-ordered them yet.
No,
I haven't yet. Like,
how many are you gonna buy?
I don't think I will go over two 2-packs. So if that'd be 4. Math.
Oh, 2. Okay, 4.
Well, but we'll see though. Like, I need to sit down and figure out, like, what all, because this past, like, 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, like, between, like, Legends and G.I. Joe, Lightning Collection, they've been stuff has been dropping like crazy, and I've been pre-ordering like crazy. So I want to sit down and I need to figure out when everything's dropping, how much I have coming in different months, and to figure out if I can truly swing this, because Lightning Collection in particular is Lightning Collection and Marvel Legends in particular are coming hard. Like, last month, Legends, like, thank God it was all MCU stuff, but, like, they were dropping stuff like almost every week. Every week they were dropping stuff. And Lightning Collection, like, they had the thing last month where they did that was my dog yawning in case you heard that. They had the Trini and Scorpina 2-pack.
I still haven't pre-ordered that.
Yeah. Then they did, you know, the Pink Ranger Fest, and now the Cogs. And I didn't realize this, but apparently the Cogs were supposed to be a reveal today, because I guess Power Morphicon is this weekend. Yeah. I guess that was supposed to be revealed this weekend, and it leaked. I don't know if it was a retailer or somebody. This happens every once in a while where Power Morphicon sent out an email to people attending, and it had a picture and a thing for pre-ordering the COG about them going up, and it was quickly the page was quickly taken down and all that, but people still had it in their email. Yeah. So I don't even know if that's the end of Power Ranger reveals this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right.
Because we still don't know.
Power Morphicon is became its own, almost, we're like 3 steps underneath San Diego level. Like,
it's
within that
pretty
niche.
Crazy.
I would like to go one day.
But they still haven't revealed Wave 10. Which that's been rumored for a while. And I was thinking about this because people have been complaining that they haven't revealed Wave 10. And the first Fan Fest they did, they announced, or they did these Q&As. Yeah. Or not Q&As, it was like a trivia. Trivia is what it was. And the first one, they finished it off with a question, I believe, pertaining to Tanya, the yellow Zeo Ranger. Had nothing to do, and then that was the end of the thing. And then this one, which was the Pink Pioneers in Pink, they did one for the In Space Pink Ranger, Cassie. She was the answer to the question, or the question related to her somehow. I forget how it was. Both of those figures are rumored for Wave 10. So I'm wondering if we're going to get 2 more Fan Fests, or maybe and then they're going to reveal the next wave with being like, oh, so at our previous Fan Fest, we asked these questions pertaining to these characters. Oh, here's a wave of them, which that'll be a great wave because you'll finish off Zeo and you'll finish off In Space. And I forget what the other two are in there. I think maybe Time Force. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. But I'm gonna wait and see. I need to weigh my pre-orders. Let's see what's
Hasbro has been like just like 50 cal machine gunning you lately. Like I feel like last year was like my through the trenches year with pre-orders and figures and stuff, and like this year it's on you, which makes complete sense with our life events. Like it's never when it's convenient. Yeah, it's always when some shit's going on that you're just like I don't know, I can't.
I need to cap off one of these lines. That's all there is to it.
You better figure it out quick. Moving on to Marvel Legends, we did get a official drop this morning of the pre-order for the retro carded Sandman, which is a hot topic because you got people who drop some pretty pennies on the Build-A-Figure Sandman, and then and then you got people that were like, you know what, I'm just gonna sit and wait and see what happens, and there you go.
We got it's funny too because this actually is like not the best figure, mostly because like it's so loose.
Wee.
I actually earlier I was like messing with him and I like popped him apart. I don't remember if this was part of the Build-A-Figure was popping this in or not, or if it just came apart on me. But I could take his belt off.
Obviously I don't know if this has to be stated, but the Sandman is going to be pre-ordered for sure.
You know, I told myself, I was like, I don't know if I really need it. Then I was like, you dumb bastard, you're gonna get it. Who are you kidding? You know how I justify it? I'm like, oh, it's not gonna take up as much shelf space as this guy.
I thought you were gonna say because you can pull his waist apart so easily.
The bad thing too about this one is, like, my villain shelf is pretty jam packed, but like he does not stand well. Like
he probably stands equally as good as Hydro Man, and Hydro Man just has those feet water effects that actually help him stand.
Yeah, because the arms weigh him down.
Yeah.
But this is even worse because he has these really like out of date ball hinge joints.
Oh yeah, those top joints. Yeah.
Which I didn't realize how much I hated these until I got there was a Red Skull I got with them. Not the most recent one, but there was another one.
Yeah. No, those ball joints are terrible. Their lack of posability, along with they seem to get super loose super fast, and then that's just like this altogether.
They don't provide enough support. Like they just because you set them and they just.
Yeah, I mean, look how loose that is. That's super easy to move. Also, it's very weird that you're playing with the legs of a figure and not the actual
honestly,
figure
like
itself. He's like Sid over there from Toy Story.
I just watched that a couple weeks ago. Like from the waist down, I think he's really cool. Like these, the sand sculpts are really good, and but. I guess like a lot of people feel like he's very oversized, but at the same time, like Sandman can, he can change his size. So it's like,
it's an easy sign off. I do think that like if you're looking for something that scales a little bit better, that this new one probably will do the job because he is relatively more beefy and he's taller.
He's using the Hydro Man body.
Yeah,
he's using that, and he has swappable. Arm parts too, so hopefully he won't be weighed down like this one and like Hydro Man.
I wish they would have did
cool
swappable parts for Hydro. God darn it.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's no brainer. And we also had
I still haven't pre-ordered him. But
I haven't either. I've been sleeping all day.
I'm probably going. Like I said, I think it's kind of the same thing with like the cogs. Like, I need to look at where I'm at with stuff and see where it might fall in. If it's going to be like a super heavy month. Because I feel like there's a lot of stuff coming out in like November,
October through December,
which makes sense.
It's gonna suck. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, October through December is gonna be super heavy. We also got an announcement from a Gamerverse Miles Morales, which actually has a pretty, I don't know, and in my opinion, is a pretty unique aspect. It has him in his cloaking ability, which, thank God, they start to show off Miles's powers a little bit more now for some particular reason. But I was on the fence. I was like, ooh, that's really cool. I like that, that's clear. I'm a sucker for clear plastic.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's almost like glow in the dark. Like if it's glow in the dark, I'm like, damn, I want that. But I think I'm gonna pass. I think I'm gonna pass on the Miles.
I am gonna pass. I'm not really
even though
what's that?
The price point is only $22.99.
When's it come out? Not that
I want to say probably October.
Oh no. Not that I was just curious, but like I will say, like, when I saw the pictures, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool and unique. I like that. Not gonna get it, but I like it. The one thing I really liked that I saw is the effects they have for his hands, for his stingers.
Yeah,
I thought those looked really cool. I was like, would those fit on my Electro figure?
That's a good question. That's actually a fine question, sir. But
I'm not gonna buy a $20 figure just for the hands. What kind
release
of
date
madman?
of the release date of Miles is October. October 1st, 2021 is what it says.
October again.
Yeah, it's gonna be dicey. It's gonna be a dicey couple months in there.
Well, that's one I don't have to worry about, because it's a really cool look. Maybe I'll get it if, like, because a lot of the GameStop exclusive, I don't know if you've noticed this, a lot of them end up going on clearance. A lot of times.
Yeah, Spider-Man is a little bit different because you had like the advanced suit Spider-Man, which was
that's right.
That sold like hotcakes. There was another one too. Yep. Yeah.
But I like the Rita and Zed pack, I know, was like been clearance down to like $30.
Right. There was a lot of gripes with the Rita sculpt though.
Yeah,
like a lot of people were not happy.
Like, fuck you, Sandman. Mostly is because like the trim on her dress, but I'm
gonna say if I stumble upon him, I'll get him.
Yeah.
That's where I stand with it.
And you know what's funny is Hasbro has a knack for doing this, because I saw a lot of people like, oh, hopefully they release a normal version of Miles from the game. And I'm like, they're going to wait until you buy this one, and then they'll do it. They do that a lot. They'll release like variations of characters before they release the actual character, because they know they'll probably sell more on that variation if they do it before.
And that is where I stand. Is like, we've been doing this a while now. We know how it all works, and like, I want that one. Like, because I pre-ordered the Miles video game from Hot Toys, and my new thing is I put the legend with the accorded hot toy, and that's kind of my setup. So I want that black and red Miles Morales from the game to go with the black and red hot toy when he comes in.
Yeah. I mean, cool concept figure. Very cool. I will say. I wouldn't fault anybody for getting it.
No, not at all.
I dig
and
it.
especially at that decent price point through GameStop, nonetheless.
Yeah.
But speaking of Hot Toys, those suckers came out with a triple tap. Well, actually quadruple tap. There was one that I didn't bring up before we started here. We'll start with that one. They are doing the reissue of the Iron Man Mark 42 quarter scale, which
jeez.
Yeah. Which is that's a beefy boy and a beefy price tag too. I forget exactly how much.
Yeah.
But Mark 42 is one of those ones for me that like
which one is that? That's the gold
Iron
one,
Man
right?
3.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3, the main one. That's one of those ones that like I really would love to add to my collection.
Really?
Yeah, just I love the comedic aspect in that movie with the Mark 42 and how like it was just so fucking junky and didn't work at all ever.
I did not like. I remember when I saw pictures of the armor at first. Well, even still, like I did not like it
because of that off-put sand yellow.
Yeah, all that gold. I was just like, nah, not my Iron Man.
Yeah, I perfectly understand why people are not a fan of it, but like I said, it comes solely off the factor that in that movie, it was just a huge source of comedic relief and something that like we see our hero pretty much hitting rock bottom.
Yeah,
so
I mean, for a representation of the movie, I could see that. Me personally, like it's an easy pass for me. It's not even like a case of like, well, if it goes on markdown, man. No, like, I mean, quarter scale. It's once
big
again,
boy.
It's big. Like,
price
there are
tag
some things you buy that you're like, I'm gonna buy that and I'll find room for it. I don't even know where I'd find room for it.
The price tag on this is $640. And it's scheduled to ship next year, July through September 2022.
Maybe one day.
No, it's one of those ones that like right now it's a pass. But if like I was able to swing it, I would.
If there's another
100%
stimulus check in the horizon.
Yeah, I probably won't get it. Fucking pieces of shit. But yeah, so that one was cool. I'm hoping that they do an actual 1/6 Mark 42 because that one I'll definitely hop on. Rolling into it, which is this is gonna kind of segue a little bit here, but they also announced Hunter from Bad Batch, this is a really cool aspect. Obviously, Bad Batch is animated, but Hot Toys is doing the sculpt of actual of the clones themselves. They did
They did a couple. They did I think an Obi-Wan and Anakin like that, where they did like the Clone Wars look, but with the actors' actual likeness and sculpt, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's definitely really cool. This price tag on Hunter is $250, which is about average price, but it's really cool to see these like Captain Rex and Hunter, and they did a couple other ones from Bad Batch already too, and to see what it would look like in the real life from the animation is kind of, it's trippy. Like Star Wars ain't my thing, but like if they were able to make me teeter, this is how they do it.
My reaction to that announcement was almost like the same as like the Black Series stuff, where I'm like, nope, can't go down that road. Don't even look.
You put your horse blinders on. You're just like, nope, no way.
Pretty much. I've jokingly sometimes tell stuff like, yeah, no, we got a pretty good Marvel collection. I think it's time to start Star Wars. And she's like, no. She's like, you're not gonna, because she knows. She's like, there's too much. You're not gonna do it. I'm like, you're right. I'm not. Not gonna do it at all.
Yeah, no. Like I said, if there was one way that Star Wars was able to grab me more into it, that it would be the Hot Toys route for sure. Especially with how they're doing this with the animated characters, with them making them into the realistic sculpts. Like that's money right there. If you're not a Star Wars fan, if you're not a Star Wars fan and collect Hot Toys and not getting this, like I would love to know how you're like holding back, because I'm not even that big of a fan. I'm like, this is really cool.
This is so goddamn cool.
And of course, with COVID came the delays and all these toy companies are like, Jesus, you're killing us because we can't reveal anything until your movies come out. And then finally, we're about, I don't know, soon it's going to come out. But we got announcements of the Hot Toys Black Widow in the snowsuit, which this is a weird thing. This is something I don't think we've ever really dealt with in the world of collecting, where we have not seen the movie and the toy has already been announced for pre-order. Like, for me with Hot Toys, if I did not enjoy the movie or the character within the movie, I feel no obligation to get this version of Widow. So, like, I'm kind of, I don't feel nothing towards it. Like, it looks good. I think the white looks pretty dope.
What you just said is kind of my feelings about the Black Widow movie in general.
All right, so I've been dealing with this aspect a lot, right? And I look at all these motherfuckers and I go, you motherfuckers watched 3 prequel Star Wars knowing goddamn well what was going to happen to Anakin Skywalker at the end of 6.
Yeah.
So you cannot give me the factor that, well, she dies, so I don't really care what happens to her.
It's not so much that as it's like, I don't know what it, I don't know if maybe if it's like a too little too late thing. And I think part of it is because, like, why people have that feeling on this and they didn't have it on the prequels is because the Marvel movies are so notorious for, like, leading into other things and having more stories to tell, and it feels very strange that they're doing this movie after the character is already dead. It just feels weird.
I think it'll still set shit up.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure there'll be something in there like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And I don't know. I don't know if I just am like, I feel like she has earned her right to get her own movie. I'm still gonna see it, and I think right now a lot of people are like starving for that Marvel movie going experience. Yeah, like, yeah, we had the shows, which were a nice change of form, but I think to have that Marvel movie going experience is what's gonna pull people in. I have this weird thing though when it comes to pre-ordering stuff like this. Like, to me, like, her in white is not my Black Widow. Like, that's kind of like how the Infinity War version, like blonde hair, like, it's like that's not Black Widow.
Yeah.
So is it me, or does it look kind of strange to me, like the body and the head? Like, the head looks slightly off to me. The size of it.
Okay, so I think because in general, from the trailer and stuff, she looks out of place in the white. I think it's just because the white is not, like, it's not as contrasting. Obviously, like, being a bigger guy, I know black is slimming. So, like, when you add white to something, it doesn't slim it out. So, like, it just looks, like you said, it looks kind of, like, bigger.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Like, I'm curious, and this is why I would love to be able to get my hands on this thing. But to take the head sculpt and put it next to, like, the in-game ScarJo and see exactly, because obviously, like, I don't think they really change much with the sculpt. And you also have this pop collar that kind of brings up and does not leave the neck exposed. So it just kind of goes from suit to head. Not only did we get a new Widow up for pre-order, but we also got the Black Widow Taskmaster. I would have to say this one, even without seeing the movie, like, I'm kind of, like, itching. I love the character design of Taskmaster and what they're doing with them. A lot of people I know disagree with me, but, you know, obviously I don't care.
It's rare for Hot Toys to actually do a villain.
Yeah.
A lot of times they show prototypes of villains and they never come to fruition. Not saying they haven't done villains, they have, but it happens more often than not, unless it's like a big marquee villain like a Joker or a Loki or Thanos or something like that. Well, then again, they did do Zod.
I would consider him a marquee villain.
But I was kind of shocked to see that they were doing Taskmaster, especially like announcing it like right then. I was like, oh,
yeah,
interesting. Depends for me how the character is in the movie.
Yeah, that's kind of why I haven't pulled the trigger yet because of that.
I don't really have a lot of villains. I have Thanos and Loki. And Thanos and Loki. And that's it. As far as the Marvel side goes.
I don't think I have any villains. I have Loki.
You have Thanos.
I have Thanos, yeah.
See, you got the same
I was
ones
gonna say,
I
I think I have the same ones you do.
Yeah.
Oh, I have Ultron version 1.
Oh, I forgot about that. I'm still sad I never pulled the trigger when he went back in stock.
The Prime? Ultron Prime? Yeah, I know. Let's not talk about that. Pour one out for the homies. But yeah, no, this is another one. This is the weird thing, right? Like, we haven't seen the movie. We have no idea, like, about this character, how they portray the character. So, like, I don't feel the strong urge to pre-order until I know exactly how the character's portrayal. Because what if I pre-order, we see the movie, and I'm like, dude, I hate the way they did Taskmaster.
Then you cancel, but you're potentially out $25 or whatever.
Exactly.
It is.
And you know what? I like my $25, so I'm not going to do that. Plus, it's one of those things where, like, you feel the need to pre-order because they go up, but you have like a year.
Oh yeah.
Well, April to July 2022. By the way, this is $250 price point.
Bad. That's like what the standard Hot Toys price used to be. Now they've gone more up to like the $260, $275 range.
Yep. Widow is also $250.
You know, Hot Toys too. You got to think. You also have to be you almost have to be like more so selective. Well, you have to be because of the price point. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to pre-order this one and this one and this one and this one and this one. Like, my pre-orders for Hot Toys have dropped significantly, probably because of the lack of Marvel content. I still haven't pre-ordered the new Scarlet Witch, Vision, or Falcon Cap. I did the Vision and Scarlet Witch mostly just because Janelle was excited, and she's like, "Did you pre-order them? Did you pre-order them?" I was like, "Nah, not yet. Like, not that big of a rush." Steph will do that sometimes. She'll be like, "Did you pre-order this yet? Did you pre-order it?" I'm like, "No." And then sometimes she'll throw like, "You're gonna do it anyway, so just do it." And I'm like, "All right, shut up." Like, I do think it is a good idea to like kind of let the hype die down sometimes from something. Yeah. To see if you really, really want it. I personally, I haven't regretted buying a Hot Toys figure. It probably is because I'm so selective about what I order and what I get. I have regrets that I didn't get, but but that's neither here nor there. We should make a bonus episode of regrets that we didn't pre-order. 3-hour cut. It's the Snyder cut of pre-orders that we regret. Yeah, but I'm just gonna hold off on those for. I'm definitely not getting the Black Widow. I know that. I can honestly say, like, I'm very happy with my Endgame one. But we'll see. You know, Hot Toys has a knack, or Marvel has a knack sometimes for releasing like versions of characters where you're like, that's the definitive version. Yep. Like, I don't see me ever getting another Steve Rogers cap though. Like, for multiple reasons. As there's multitude of Hot Toys Spider-Man behind me. Oh, they got you. They got me real good on that Spider-Man train. Like, I don't think I'll be popping off anytime soon.
But yep, that is all. That is all the announcements that we got as of right now.
I guarantee you something crazy will happen like the second we sign off. It never fails.
Probably.
Something like that always happens.
And that'll be covered on the next time. But yeah, of course, if you're not following us on social media, make sure you follow us on social media. We post some stuff sometimes. And then if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, hit that thumb up, like it real good.
Like it hard.
Like it hard. Real
like you
hard.
Should.
Smash that like button.
No, don't break your keyboard.
And until next time we get more toy news, I've been Tony.
I'm Mike, and this is Spider-Man.
And we'll see you later.